Warning, this video is a wild and quite baseless speculation. Actually, I wanted to wait until the last DLC release to discuss this topic, as until then it's really uncertain. But in the end I feel like I can't really wait, as I guess I didn't really dedicate enough time for this speculation in my older videos. However, it really is just a speculation, and I myself wouldn't really call this video a real lore video similar to others. So, there is a little theory that I guess I didn't really discuss in the old lore video about Rosaria, as it turned out to be quite long, and I'd like this video to be a little addition to that older lore video, but by no means considered separately from the other theories discussed there. So, the thing is that we know that Rosaria was robbed of her tongue by her firstborn. However, since she's called Mother of Rebirth, I believe it is possible, though it's an enormous speculation, that the term firstborn in this case might not be referring to her actual child, but rather the first one who used her powers to be reborn. And, I guess that thinking about why would one undergo rebirth via Rosaria's power and then deprive her of her tongue might actually lead us to another speculation, that in fact this FirstREborn actually wanted to hide their true identity by changing their appearance. And, upon getting a new face, body, they silenced the witness, quite likely the only one, who knew whom they really were, so their true identity would remain secret. For instance, we know that Rosaria can't be really killed, and she may still be revived even being stripped of her soul, so, possibly the only way to silence her was to actually rob her of her tongue, likely in some special way, since she comes back to life after being killed but isn't able to restore her tongue. Although it's actually a speculation under assumption that another speculation is true, I still think that it's quite interesting. But of course the firstborn could have other motives as well. And, who knows, maybe even among the characters that we think we know, there may be that mysterious firstborn who in truth isn't the one we think he or she is. But, since until the release of the last DLC we don't even know all the characters, I guess that there's little point in discussing this topic, as there isn't to say much. So I hesitated to discuss this speculation in much detail. But now I couldn't really wait to discuss it, and the release date for the second DLC has been finally announced, so. As for the identity of this FirstREborn, although it's really too early to speak about it now, and that's pretty much the reason I hesitated to discuss it until we know all the characters. Of course there still may be several candidates for that role. However, it's naturally also possible that even if firstborn really refers to the first who underwent rebirth, they will never be present in-game as boss or NPC. But, as a totally wild and really baseless speculation, and possibly more like simply an illustration of the theory, I guess we still may note one peculiar character as a possible Rosaria's firstborn. Pontiff Sullivan. Well, from all the stuff that we discussed about him in older lore videos, I guess he's pretty capable of doing something as treacherous as that. And, I guess we weren't really too wrong when speculated in those videos that he could have some grudge against the old gods of Orlando, and Rosaria is actually related to them, although, there still may be several possible theories regarding in which way exactly. But, the most peculiar is that, as we know now, Sullivan originates from the Painted World, and since he was born there, but didn't come there as a forlorn creature on his own will, maybe it was the source of his possible grudge against Orlando. But what if, originating from the Painted World, Sullivan originally was a different creature, possibly more akin to Corvians? And thus he would possibly require to undergo rebirth in order to be able to claim the title of Pontiff according to his plan? For instance, as we discussed it in older videos, he already faked the lunar powers with his magic, which was also probably necessary to claim the title, aside of the profaned flame powers of his second greatsword, which were real. What do you think about that? Well, it may sound quite exciting, but at the same time it's only a really baseless speculation, especially part about Sullivan, which is almost like a random guess, and we don't even know if it's possible for Corvian to be reborn as different creature. So all of this is almost fanfic stuff, at least for now, and there's a lot of other different possibilities and possible candidates. Also, we must not forget that this speculation about the meaning of firstborn is only one of many theories that we discussed earlier, and not even the likeliest. After all, it could be a real usual firstborn. And I really hate making such uncertain videos, so I apologize for it, as it's really not as certain as some of the other videos I make, especially since the new DLC still hasn't been released. But hopefully this video was interesting for you and possibly made the new DLC even more intriguing, and I guess that would be it for now. Thanks for watching, and please, check out other, more certain lore, etymology, or maybe also cosplay videos on my channel, because I really feel bad presenting a video with nothing but speculations, though I didn't want to keep it unpublished either.